The security footage doesn't lie. Detective James Sullivan had watched it 73 times, hoping each time he'd see something different, something he'd missed, some detail that would explain the impossible. But every single time, it was the same. A woman enters a hotel. The cameras track her every movement. Lobby, elevator, fourth-floor hallway, room 412. The door closes behind her at 11:52 p.m. on a Friday night. And then, nothing. 3 days of continuous surveillance footage. Every exit monitored. Every hallway covered. Every stairwell recorded. She never walked back out. Her room was found empty days later. The bed untouched. The towels still folded, like no one had ever been there at all. Except on the desk, plugged into the wall, a phone charger, still warm to the touch. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're new here, click on the subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Because what you're about to hear will make you think twice about every hotel room you've ever stayed in. This is the story of Maya Richardson, 29 years old, graphic designer from Portland. She checked into the Grandview Hotel in Seattle on November 3rd, 2023, for what was supposed to be a quiet weekend alone. 3 nights to clear her head after a difficult breakup. 3 nights to reset and figure out her next steps. Her best friend, Emma Chen, was the last person to hear from her. A text message sent at midnight. Finally checked in. This place is quiet. Exactly what I needed. Talk tomorrow. But tomorrow never came. Maya Richardson walked into room 412 and vanished. No trace, no explanation, no body. Just questions that 3 years later still have no answers. To understand what happened at the Grandview Hotel, you need to understand who Maya was. Friends described her as the most practical person they knew. Organized, logical, the type who made lists for everything and always thought 3 steps ahead. Her apartment was always clean. Her work was meticulous. She wasn't someone who made impulsive decisions or disappeared on a whim. But in the months before that trip to Seattle, people close to her noticed changes. She'd ended a 3-year relationship in September. The breakup was messy. Her ex moved out suddenly, taking half their furniture and leaving Maya in an apartment that felt too empty, too quiet. She threw herself into work, taking on more clients, working late into the night, barely sleeping. Emma would call to check on her, and Maya would sound distant, distracted, like her mind was somewhere else even when they were talking. "I'm fine," Maya would say. "Just tired. Just need some time to process everything." That's when Maya booked the trip. 3 nights at the Grandview Hotel. She told Emma she needed to get away from Portland for a few days. Somewhere unfamiliar where she could think without reminders of her ex everywhere she looked. Emma thought it was a good idea. Some solo time to reset. Come back stronger. The last time Emma saw Maya was Thursday afternoon, the day before she left. They met for lunch at their usual spot. Maya seemed better that day, almost excited. She talked about maybe starting fresh after the trip. New projects, new routines, maybe even moving to a different city. Emma hugged her goodbye in the parking lot. "Text me when you get there," she said. Maya promised she would, and she did. One message. Midnight. Finally checked in. That was the last time anyone who knew Maya Richardson heard from her. November 3rd, 2023. The Grandview Hotel sits on a busy downtown Seattle street. Mid-range property. Business travelers during the week. Tourists on weekends. The kind of place where staff see hundreds of faces and remember almost none of them. But Daniel Park, working the night shift at the front desk, remembered Maya. She arrived late, just before midnight. He noticed because most late check-ins are rushed, irritated, impatient. But Maya was calm. She smiled when he handed her the key card. Asked about the Wi-Fi password. Asked if there was a quiet place to work if she needed it. He told her the business center on the 2nd floor was open 24 hours. She thanked him, declined help with her luggage. Just a rolling suitcase and a backpack. Light for 3 days. Daniel watched her walk to the elevator. He remembered thinking she seemed like someone comfortable traveling alone. Not nervous, just normal. The security camera in the lobby captured everything. Timestamp 11:47 p.m. Maya enters the frame from the right. Dark jeans, gray jacket, white sneakers, hair pulled back in a ponytail. She stops at the front desk. Brief conversation with Daniel. Takes the key card. walks to the elevator. The doors open. She steps inside. They close behind her. Timestamp 11:51 p.m. The elevator camera shows her pressing the button for the 4th floor. She's looking at her phone, expression neutral. Not smiling, not frowning. Just a woman heading to her room after a long drive. The doors open. She turns left, walks down the hallway, stops at room 412, swipes the key card. The light turns green. She opens the door, steps inside. The door closes. Timestamp 11:52 p.m. And that is the last time security footage shows Maya Richardson anywhere in the Grandview Hotel. Saturday morning, housekeeping knocked on room 412 around 10 a.m. No answer. They saw the Do Not Disturb sign on the handle. Hotel policy was to respect it. They'd come back later. Saturday afternoon, another knock. The sign was still there. Still no answer. They made a note and moved on. Sunday morning, the supervisor, Maria Gonzalez, started to feel uneasy. 3 full days with no contact, no room service calls, no request for towels, nothing. She'd worked at hotels for years. She knew the patterns. Even guests who wanted complete privacy eventually opened the door a crack or called down to ask for something. This silence felt wrong. Maria called the front desk. Has the guest in 412 checked out? No. Reservation still active. Credit card still on file. Everything looked normal in the system. But Maria's instincts were screaming. She grabbed the master key and went to the 4th floor herself. She knocked on the door. Maya, housekeeping. Just checking if you need anything. Silence. She knocked again, louder. If you're in there, please let us know you're okay. Nothing. No sound, no movement. Maria hesitated. Policy said not to enter without permission, but this felt different. She swiped the master key. The light turned green. She pushed the door open slowly, calling out as she entered. Hello? I'm coming in. I just want to make sure everything's all right. The door swung fully open. Maria stepped inside. What she saw made absolutely no sense. The room was empty. Not just empty of people, empty in a way that was impossible. The bed was perfectly made. Hospital corners, pillows fluffed exactly how housekeeping leaves them. The towels in the bathroom were hanging on the racks, completely unused. The little bottles of shampoo were still sealed in plastic. The trash can was empty. Not a single tissue or wrapper. Nothing. It looked exactly like a room that had just been cleaned and was waiting for the next guest. Except Maya Richardson's reservation was still active in the system. Her keycard had been used to enter the room Friday night. The security cameras proved it, but there was no evidence anyone had actually stayed there. Maria stood in the doorway, confused and increasingly frightened. Had there been some kind of mistake? Had Maya never actually gone into the room? But no, the front desk clerk remembered her. The cameras showed her entering. So where was her suitcase? Where was her backpack? Where were her clothes, her toiletries? Any sign that a living person had been in this space? Maria walked further into the room, looking for anything out of place. And then she saw it. On the desk against the wall. A phone charger. White cable. Plugged into the outlet. Maria walked over and touched it. It was warm. Not hot, but noticeably warm. Like something had been charging there recently. Like someone had unplugged their phone just minutes before. But the room was empty. The door had been locked from the inside. No one had been seen leaving. Maria backed out of the room and immediately called hotel security. Have you ever stayed in a hotel and felt like something was off? Like the room didn't feel quite right even though you couldn't point to anything specific? Drop a comment. I want to know if you've ever had that feeling, because what happened next is going to make you understand why sometimes those feelings might be trying to tell you something important. Hotel security called the police. Detective James Sullivan arrived expecting something simple. Woman checks out early. Forgets to return key. Leaves a charger. Happens all the time. But as he started asking questions and reviewing evidence, that simple explanation fell apart. Maya hadn't checked out. The system still showed her reservation as active. Her credit card hadn't been charged for early departure, and when the detective asked to see security footage, everything changed. He spent 6 hours in the security office watching every camera in the building. Lobby, elevators, hallways, stairwells, service entrance, loading dock, fire exits. every single angle from Friday night through Sunday afternoon. Maya Richardson entered the hotel at 11:47 p.m. Friday. She went to her room. She never appeared on camera again. Not walking the halls, not taking the stairs, not leaving through any exit. She entered room 412 and somehow vanished from inside the building without ever being recorded again. Detective Sullivan started eliminating possibilities one by one. Could she have left through a window? He went to room 412 personally to check. Standard hotel window, designed not to open more than 2 inches for safety. Sealed. Even if someone forced it open, they were 4 floors up. No fire escape. No balcony. 40 feet above concrete. Could she have disguised herself and walked out? The detective reviewed footage of every single person who left the hotel that entire weekend. Different heights, different builds, different ages, business travelers, families with children, elderly couples, delivery drivers, staff members. Not one person matched Maya's height, build, or the way she moved. Could she have hidden in a laundry cart or service bin? All service areas had cameras. Every cart that left the building was documented. Nothing unusual was recorded. Could there be some blind spot in the camera coverage? A technical team mapped every camera angle. No gaps. Every hallway, every exit, every stairwell was monitored continuously. The footage had no technical failures. The system worked perfectly all weekend. Could there be a hidden passage? The building blueprints were pulled from city records. No secret exits. No maintenance tunnels. No hidden passages. The hotel was straightforward. 1 entrance, 2 stairwells. Standard elevator system. All monitored, all empty of Maya Richardson. If you're still here, comment, "I'm still here." Let's see who's watching through to find out what really happened. And if you can't stand businesses that hide information from their customers to protect their reputation, hit that subscribe button. Don't let companies think they can sweep mysteries under the rug just because the truth might be bad for business. Detective Sullivan interviewed Emma Chen. She described Maya as the last person who would disappear voluntarily. No mental health history, no financial problems, no reason to run. But Emma mentioned something that stuck with the detective. In the weeks before the trip, Maya had been having strange dreams. She'd mentioned them casually, like they didn't mean anything. Dreams where she was walking through empty buildings looking for exits she could never find. Dreams where she could see herself from the outside, like watching through a camera. Dreams where she heard her phone ringing but couldn't locate it no matter how hard she searched. Emma had told her it was just stress from the breakup, nothing to worry about. But sitting in the police station weeks after her friend vanished, Emma's voice shook. What if she was trying to tell me something? What if somehow she knew? 3 weeks after Maya disappeared, the investigation had stalled. Every lead exhausted. Every theory tested. The case was going cold. Then Detective Sullivan got a call from the hotel's maintenance department. They'd been doing electrical work on the 4th floor, updating old wiring that had been causing power fluctuations. When they opened the walls in room 412 to access the junction boxes, they found something behind the drywall. A small gap between the interior and exterior walls, the kind of construction flaw that sometimes gets missed during renovations. The gap was maybe 8 inches wide. Not big enough for a person, but big enough for something to fall into. And wedged in that gap, about 3 feet down from where the wall had been opened, was a phone. An iPhone with a cracked screen and a rose gold case. The battery was dead. When police charged it and accessed the data, it was confirmed to be Maya's phone. The last activity on the phone was 12:17 a.m. on Saturday morning, 26 minutes after she'd texted Emma goodnight. The camera app had been opened. 3 photos had been taken within seconds of each other. The tech team pulled up the images. The first photo showed room 412 from Maya's perspective. She was standing near the bed facing the window. The desk, the chair, the curtains, everything looked normal, just a standard hotel room. The second photo was taken from almost the same spot, but the angle was slightly different. Like the phone had been moved or shifted. The room looked the same, but something about the image felt wrong, though it was hard to identify what. Then there was the third photo. It showed the same room, same angle, but now there was someone else in it, a figure standing between the camera and the window. Back to the camera, wearing dark jeans and a gray jacket. The same clothes Maya had been wearing when she checked in. The detective stared at the image. If Maya was taking the photo, who was standing in the room wearing her clothes? Was it a reflection? But there was no mirror in that position. Another person? But the footage showed no one else entering the room. He zoomed in. The image was slightly blurred, but he could see details. Gray jacket, dark hair in a ponytail, white sneakers. Every detail matched what Maya wore. But the figure's posture was unnatural, stiff, like standing at attention rather than relaxed. The forensics team analyzed the photos, enhanced them, adjusted lighting. Their conclusion was disturbing. The figure was either Maya herself or someone dressed identically, standing in a room that should have been empty. If you're still here, comment justice for Maya, because her family deserves answers. And if you believe hotels have a responsibility to be honest with guests about strange incidents in their rooms, make sure you're subscribed. Share this video. Keep Maya's story alive. Don't let businesses prioritize profit over transparency and safety. As Detective Sullivan investigated further, he learned room 412 had a history. In 1998, a business executive died there of a heart attack. His wife said he'd called the night before, saying he felt like someone was in the room with him, even though he was alone. In 2006, a woman checked out after one night, pale and shaking, saying she felt overwhelming dread from the moment she entered. In 2015, a couple reported seeing a figure standing motionless in the corner at night. When they turned on the light, no one was there. After that last incident, the hotel quietly stopped offering room 412, unless they were completely booked. The weekend Maya checked in, Seattle was hosting a major convention. Every hotel downtown was full. Room 412 was one of the last available. The case remains officially open. Maya's family still searches. Her mother calls Seattle police every month asking for updates. Emma started a website dedicated to finding her friend. The Grandview Hotel still operates, but room 412 has been permanently closed. The door stays locked. A maintenance storage label covers the room number. When Detective Sullivan retired, he took copies of the case file, the footage, the photos, the statements. He still reviews them sometimes late at night, hoping to see what he missed. But the footage always shows the same thing: Maya Richardson entering room 412, never leaving. Hotel staff sometimes report hearing sounds from inside the locked room. Footsteps, a phone vibrating, someone crying. They don't investigate anymore. They've learned not to. What do you think happened to Maya Richardson? Did she find some exit no one has discovered? Was someone else in that room? Or is there something about the Grandview Hotel that exists outside normal explanation? Would you stay in a hotel room if you knew it had a dark history? Drop your thoughts below. And if you believe Maya's case deserves to stay open until real answers emerge, share this video. Subscribe to Crime Lines Chronicles. We don't let mysteries fade just because they're difficult. Maya Richardson checked in November 3rd, 2023. She never checked out. The door to room 412 is locked, but the questions remain. And somewhere, somehow, there are answers. We just haven't found them yet.